Hi, my name is Markku and I'm going to be showing you how to use gather.town. So first you need to navigate to this website called gather.town and you'll see the main screen first, and then you can see this launch gather button here. So you click on that and you're going to be taken in this screen where you can either choose create new space or sign in. We're going to click on sign in. And by the way, if you just go back, whether you click on sign in or sign up, it's the same. You end up in the same landing page where you can now add your email address here. So I'm going to add my email. Like so. And then I can click on send magic link. And after a while, Gather has sent me an email to sign in to Gather. So I'm going to click the link here in the email. And it takes me to a page where it asks me whether I want to log in via this browser or the desktop app that you can also download. I'm going to choose the browser for now. And now if I go back to the first tab of Gather I opened, I should see my spaces here listed on the left, and I can choose one and choose between these and then click on enter space. Now while I'm entering the space, it's going to ask me whether or not the browser can use my camera and my microphone, so I'm going to agree on that. And at any point you can shut down your camera or your microphone here. And here you can edit your character, so click here and you can change the avatar to be something different, and you can change the clothing, which also changes the hair color, it seems. And when you're done, you can also edit the name, by the way. When you're done, you can click next, and then you can join the gathering. And at the moment I'm joining the EMEX final event room, which was pre-built. Once you get inside gather.town, you see this top-down perspective of your avatar and a virtual space. So you can move around by using your arrow keys, and you can move around like up here, for example. And then you have these private spaces. You have this prompt appearing that you have entered a private space. So this means that you can have a conference with a separate group of people from the rest of the gather.town environment here. So other people outside this bubble won't be able to see your camera or hear your microphone. Alright, let's have a quick look at the gather.town user interface. So up here in the left corner we got the gather.town logo. If you click on that, you can choose to go home, which takes you back to the listing of the different spaces you have. Then you can invite people. If you click here, you can choose the expiration date for your link, enter an email and send the invite, or copy the invite link. Then you also got your help center here. You can send feedback, see updates, report an issue, or open Gather in desktop app. Then you got the cogwheel for settings, so you can switch the settings for the user or the space. So for the user, you can adjust your cameras, your microphones, your sound effects volumes, etc. Then here in the space, you can change whether or not you want to preserve the chat history, for example. You can also adjust the user roles, mainly who is able to build in Gather. Then you got the build icon here. We're not going to use this specific build tool. We're going to go into Map Maker later on. Then you got the calendar. You can set up some events in the calendar. Then you got the chat, where you can chat with the rest of the group. And then you can see the list of participants here. Okay, and going over to this dashboard here in the middle, you first got your character icon here. If you click on that, you can change your appearance here in gather.town. So you can change the avatar and clothing and then save. Then you can click on your name and you can add a text status to your character. You can access the user video preferences from here. You can turn on quiet mode. You can respawn and sign out. Then you got a minimap of the area, or rather the whole map of the place you're in. So you can see your character is currently here in the lower part of this map. You can exit the minimap by clicking on the X here. Then you can screen share through the dashboard, and Gather needs your permission to access your screen share input so others can see what you're sharing. So I would have to go into my browser settings now to grant Gather access because I just disabled it. Then over here we got these quick reactions, so you can quickly show a thumbs up, for example, and there's going to be a speech bubble with the thumbs up icon on it. Alright, so if you want to make edits to your space, you need to enter the build tool here, and I like to use map maker for every edit I do. You could quick add objects through here just through the build tool, but I just like to use map maker. So click on map maker and it's going to take you to a whole different site, sort of. So you'll end up in a screen like this. You can zoom in and out by holding down Control and using your mouse scroll wheel. You can see the whole space, and you can zoom in by holding down Control and using your scroll wheel, pulling it up. And you can reverse changes you've made by pressing Ctrl Z. And you can also use the scroll wheel to move up or down the space. So basically everything is made of tiles in gather.town, and you can adjust what kind of tiles you have here, their look and their behavior. So let's actually make a new space altogether. So let's not do any edits to this one. I can just close this one, and I could go to the gather.town logo here and go home. And over here in the list of recent spaces, in the lower part, I got this button, create new space. So I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to start from blank. So click there and click on this blank option. You need to name your space. So I'm going to name it My Space 2021. And what are you building this space for? You need to choose an answer. I'm just trying gather out. So then I'm going to click Open Map Maker. We're going to end up in the Map Maker again, and it's going to load a whole blank scene for us. Okay, so maybe I want to add some tiles here. I'd like to add some grass maybe. So how could I do that? I could go up here to walls and floors, and there's a beta warning. Just going to continue, and here go to the floors, tiles, and over here on the right you got some tiles you can choose. And I want some green grass, so I'm going to choose this tile. And then I'm just gonna drag my mouse, holding down my left mouse button to create this grass area. And creating floors is quite easy because it's automatically making this box selection when you hold down your left mouse button and drag. So you can create a grass area, a big one, really easily like this. Then if you just release your left mouse button, it's going to create the grass area. Now we could add some water in the middle. So I'm going to choose this tile and drag a box there. So now there's a pool in the middle. And now I would like to have walls around this garden I built here. So I could go to walls, choose this brick wall, for example, and then just drag a wall like this. It seems I can't. So I got to be inside this white area. So there's a slight tone change here. You can see this is light gray and this is white. So I'm gonna make a wall here around the garden. Maybe I should make it like this. Okay, for some reason this tile isn't changing color. Make a wall here as well. So now we got walls around the garden. So currently you could just walk through these walls, but there's a way to make the walls impassable. So I'm going to click done here and go into tile effects. And over here on the right you can choose different effects for the tiles. Just going to zoom out a bit. And the first one is impassable. So you can lay down tiles that are impassable to users, and make sure you're in stamp mode. That's where you paint these tiles. So I'm just gonna left click and drag around where the wall goes. So there, this area is now impassable. Other types of tile effects include spawn, so you can determine where people are going to spawn in to your space when they enter. So I could have 4 spawn points. People are going to randomly spawn into these when they enter my space. Then you could set up a portal to teleport people to other rooms or spaces. You could add a private area, so only people in the same tile IDs can connect with each other. So I need to set an ID here, make it private, and have colored tiles. So I'm just going to make a private area here. It's indicated by a text. Then there's spotlight. If you have a big room, people might not be able to see or hear you. So if you're far enough from another person, you're not going to be able to see their camera, hear their microphone. So with the spotlight, you can make a spot here. Now there's 4 spots where they are sort of announcers to the whole room. So everybody in the room, no matter its size, can hear them. All right, let's go over some of the tools here. So if you go to this hamburger menu, you can switch spaces, access guides and tutorials, or have a custom image as your background or foreground. So if I'm going to upload background, I could click here, upload a background, and choose an image. And it's going to use this image now as my background, so it's going to override all the tiles I drew before. So now I just draw a room and use that as my map, and then set up all the tiles for impassable sections and all that. I'm just going to delete this. I'm going to go to background, upload background, and click on draw your own background. So that's going to reset it. Then we got the selection tool here. You can select tiles. Then we got the stamp. You can stamp tiles, and each tile is 32 by 32 pixels. So keep that in mind when creating background images and for example your custom tiles you can do. I'm going to show that a bit later, but basically if you add a background tile a background image, it's going to start from 0 0, so this coordinate here, so x0 y0, you can see in the lower right hand corner there. And then we got the eraser. You can erase tiles. I could erase these walls here. Then you got the hand tool. You can move around using the hand, and then you can just zoom in and out and make sure you're not in the walls and floors mode when you do this, because if you click on something whilst using any tool in the walls and floors mode currently, you're going to make a wall. So then you can just undo here as well. So you can reverse the walls I accidentally made, and I can actually recreate the wall that I erased here. Okay, so exiting the walls and floors by hitting cancel here. And now I can add some tiles, like more graphics to this map. So I could go over here on the right where we have some objects. There's already a few objects here in the quick menu, like a chair. I could click where I want to add a chair. And I could rotate it here as well. So if I want to have a row of chairs that's rotated like that. And if I go back to my objects menu here, I can click on more objects, and I got a list of bunch of stuff. I could go to newly added. I could add, for example, a bonsai tree. Click on that, click on select, and now I can choose where I place a bonsai tree. If I want to get rid of these, I could just go to the eraser and click on the object. And if I want to add any objects, I go to the stamp tool. Right, so let's go to more objects and insert text. So I could type any text here, type welcome, for example, and create and select. So this is going to make a simple text tile or tiles for me. So I can have like a welcome text here in the pool, for example. And let's go back to objects and more objects. You could also add interactivity to your objects. Alright, so objects can have embedded links, embedded images, embedded videos from URLs. So let's see what we could add to our space. So I'm going to go to outdoor and choose this bird bath, and I'm going to add an embedded website, and I'm going to make it https://yle.fi and set the activation distance to 2 tiles. So within 2 tiles of range, you can activate this link. And there's advanced options where you can set up a prompt message when you approach this interactive object. You can set an object image, active image, loading icon, etc. Just going to click on select and add the bird bath here. And I'm going to save, go to the hamburger menu and go to space. So this is going to load up my space, and I can join the gathering. And while I'm moving here, I can see the bird path lights up when I'm within range. So it lights up in yellow outline, and then I can press X to interact. It's gonna load up the website that I set up with the link. Then you can also set up an object with embedded video. So straight from a YouTube URL, for example. Let's see how we can do that. So I'm going to go to Objects, More Objects, and I'm going to choose Presentation. Let's choose TV, for example, and choose the embedded video. It asks for a video URL. I got Lordy Eurovision opening here. I'm just going to copy this link, go to MapMaker and paste the video URL here, and the activation distance is 3. That's all right. I'm gonna select it and add the TV somewhere here, so add it there, then save, and then go to the hamburger menu and go to space. Enjoy the gathering. And currently, if I approach the TV, the video will show up here in the left corner. Okay, what about custom tiles? You could add some custom graphics to gather.town. When you're in the map maker and you have this preview space you can move around, you can just close this tab and go back to the map maker. And in the objects menu, when you click more objects, down here there's upload new. So you could drag or click to upload an image. A single tile is 32 by 32 pixels. It's reminded here. So we could draw our own graphics by using Microsoft Paint, for example. So I'm going to open up Microsoft Paint and go to File and Preferences and set up the height and width to be 32 by 32. Click OK and zoom in. And now I could draw my own tile. So I could make a smiley face, for example. Let's have the background black. And let's make the smiley face yellow. And let's use the paint bucket and then draw some eyes and a mouth. Okay, now we are ready to save this. So I could go save as. Sorry about the finish. Okay, I'm just gonna name it smiley 2 because I have a smiley here from before. So now I got my graphics done. I could go to gather.town again, or rather the map maker. Maybe search my file system for the smiley icon and drag it over here. And there I have my smiley face now to use as a tile. So I could name it. I could name it smiley and describe it as a smiley face. Okay, and then I could do the embedding for whatever I want. Choose a website, image, video, even make a call or have it as a node object. Then I can create and select, and then I can place my smiley face somewhere here. And I can save and go to space and have a look at the smiley face. So there it is. My very own graphics are within gather.town, real nice and quick. One thing to note, if you want to have a transparent background for your objects, so you would see the grass behind the smiley face, you would have to use a bit more advanced image manipulation software such as GIMP to make the background transparent. Now we just have a black background here, but You could have it transparent as a PNG as well, and it would show the background. All right, that's pretty much it. All of the basic things you can do in gather.town and map maker.